Okay, welcome to my quick concepts. This is for my Algebra 1 Saxon students. Today we're going to get into area. It first gets introduced in lesson 8. So we're going to start with different types, different formulas. So we have area of a rectangle. We have area of a square. We have area of a triangle. We have area of a circle. And then combinations of these. I should do area of a semicircle too. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the formulas. These are something you should have on your reference card. You should have written it down in class, but if you didn't, this is a good time to do it. So first of all, a rectangle looks like this, and it's going to be a length times a width. Square, hopefully everybody knows what a square looks like. And it's going to be side squared or side times side. So a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So the base is here. The height is the height of the triangle, not the slant height. It's the one that goes up the middle. Area of a circle is pi r squared, r being the radius. And then area of a semicircle is pi r squared divided by 2, which is, again, here's the radius, because it's just a circle divided by 2. Okay, and then the combination is going to be like if you have something like this. If you were to have something like this, and then a semicircle. So here you'd have a rectangle, you'd have your triangle, and here you'd have your semicircle where we would combine the different formulas. So let's do a couple problems just to kind of cement what we have here. So let's start with our area of a rectangle. So if we have a rectangle like this, and we have this side is 4 and this side is 2. Again, it's just going to be length times width. So we would say 4 times 2, that would be 8. And whatever we were dealing with, it's going to be units squared. Anytime you have area, you are going to square the units, okay? So if you have a square, and it can look like this would be area is equal to side squared. So you would say 4 squared, which is 16 units squared. So that's pretty simple. Now a triangle, this is going to be area is equal to 1/2 base times height. So if we have a triangle that looks like this, and let's say the base is 4 and the height is 3, we would write it as 1/2 times 4 times 3. Well, half of 4 is 2, and 2 times 3 is 6, and again it would be units squared. But let's say you had a triangle that looked like this, and the base here, let's say, is 4 and the height here is 3. You're going to do it the same way, except the base is going to be 4 and the height is here this time, which is 3. And again, you'll end up with 6 units squared. So that covers that. Now if you have a circle and it looks like this, and let's say the radius is 9. So we have area equals pi r squared. We know pi is on our calculators. We should be using our calculators full time now. It's 3.14, but I prefer you just to use the calculator pi button. And our radius is 9. So I would just grab my calculator, and you want to square the 9 first. So let's see, we are going to grab our calculators, and we are going to say 9 times 9 times pi. So this is 250.4.47 centimeters squared. If you're dealing with centimeters, it would be units squared. Now a semicircle, on the other hand, let's say you have a radius. This is area is equal to pi r squared divided by 2. So you're dealing with it the exact same way, except you're going to just divide the end product by 2. So we would plug into our calculator. We would say 9 times pi divided by 2, and that's going to give us 14.14, and let's say we're talking about centimeters squared. Now lastly, let's talk a little bit about the combination one. So a combination one would be something as simple as looking at this. So here you can obviously see that to get the total area, you're going to take the area of a rectangle and add it to the area of a triangle. So here what we would do is we would say, okay, we know the area of a rectangle is length times width, and we know that the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. So once we do this, we can just go ahead and plug that in. Let's go ahead and put some numbers on this guy. This is 4, this is 6, and this is 4. We can see the length of the rectangle is 6, the width is 4, the base of the triangle is 4, and we can see that the height is 4 as well, because this would be the same as this. So this would be 24 plus half of 16 is 8. So our answer would be 32, and let's say we're in centimeters, it would be centimeters squared. So that's an example of a combination. Okay, and I think that pretty much covers it. And they do have area of a trapezoid. I do want to throw this in really quick. So first of all, what is a trapezoid? Trapezoid looks like this. So you can do this two ways. There is a formula for the area of a trapezoid, but you could always break it in half and do 2 triangles. You would just need to make sure you knew the true height of this thing. So, but the area of a trapezoid, just in case you wanted this formula, is 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height. So once we have that taken care of, we are going to say, all right, and then you've got your base, and it doesn't really matter what you call base 1 and what you call base 2. You could just work it out. You just need to make sure you know the true height. This is not the height. This would be the height right here. So you can do it that way. And then of course a parallelogram, just so you know this too. It's a rectangle knocked over. Just make sure again you know the true height. So this would just be, the area would be base times height, or length times width. Again, just making sure you understand that this is the true height, not this part. Okay, and that is it.